Well, hello, it's Fred the mechanic here. A little bit earlier this morning, got to head into town. So I thought I'd get started nice and early. I've caught a few of you off guard, but that's okay. So anyway, I'm Fred the mechanic, and I'm going to show you how to make a mechanic for tomorrow's workshop. So you can review this a bit later and have a look. So I'm heading into town, so I thought I'd get this done. Anyway, so I'm going to put the worksheet up a little bit later, and yeah, so I thought I'd get started and show you how to make this mechanic. Now this mechanic is a little bit similar to one that we made the other day, but this one we can use in many different ways. So anyway, I've got a piece of timber here. Yes, it's a piece of timber. I'm pretty clever like that. I know what timber is. So I've also got here a rule and a pen, some hot tape, and this is foam core board. But you can use many different options, and I'm going to give you some of those options as well. So yeah, Fred had a good sleep last night, so Fred's on a roll this morning. So I've also got some Oasis paper coated wire, and I've got the drill. Got to have the drill. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to measure up. So I've got my piece of timber here, and I've worked out my foam core board, the width that I'm wanting it. This here is 40 centimetres wide, so, and this here is 50 centimetres wide, so that makes a lot. So what I want to do is have, like, I'm coming in from either end here, have a bit of a gap, and this is a really cool mechanic. I've also put a piece of wood underneath because I know I'll get into trouble if I go through the bench, so I better not do that. So I have a piece of wood, so I won't do that. Good morning everyone, hope you're going good where you are. This is Fred the mechanic from New Zealand here, and we're going to make this design. So anyway, so I've got worked out my timber, worked out my piece of foam core board, worked out roughly where I want it to go. So I want it to go kind of like that, where I've got a gap on either end. So now that I've sorted that out, I'm going to now cut the piece that I want. So what we're going to do is we're going to go the width that we want to go to make this panel, and once you see me build it, you'll go, oh yes, I can make those as big or as small as I want. And then I'm going to go 15 centimetres in width. So get my wall here, make sure, so I found my centre line, mark it so I get it nice and straight. Just going to draw a line there. I like using the foam core board, it's nice and easy. Line that up, cut that through there. Got my line, and then the best part about this is get your Stanley knife. Might pay to put your board upside down on the top, so while you cut it, you don't go through the bench again. Line it, and use your rule as your guide as well, just to run your blade over. Keep it nice and straight, keep it firm. Line it up, and then you can just crack it, which is what I want to do. And then I'm going to line it up now, and I'm just going to go straight down there. So I've got the width that I want. Nice and lightweight, it's really, really good. Now I've gone 15 width ways, so now what I'm going to do is find the halfway mark on that, which is going to be 7.5 centimetres, and I'm going to mark that with my pen, and I'm going to take my rule and I'm going to just do a few of those marks along there. Make sure I get it nice and straight. Hope you're all good this morning. It's pretty good here. Another really good rain yesterday. Good rain in the night. Rightio, so now I've found my centre, and now I'm just going to line my rule up. This means you're keeping it nice and straight as you're working. Right. Now when you do this piece, now if you haven't got foam core board, you can use cardboard. I also like to use balsa wood, and I've got a few other options I can give you. Good morning everyone. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to get my rule again, but this time I'm not going to go all the way through. Line that up again, but just not go all the way through, just lightly cut that line. So this is about easy mechanics, ones that we can all do. And then all I'm going to do then is I'm just going to gently crack that in half like that. Okay, so I've still got it folded, and I just want to crack it. Okay, so now I'm going to put that to the side for the moment. Pop that one in under there, sort that out later, turn my piece of wood back over. Now what we're going to do here is I wanted you to get, this is 16 gauge wire, and remember when I said the lower the number, the thicker the wire. So this is quite a heavy gauge wire. Or you could use the 1.65 stub wire, which is this one here. That is the uncoated wire, so you can use that one there. But I'm going to just use this wire here. If you haven't got 16 gauge, just get quite a few of the wires and put them together, and it'll make quite a strong pin. I'm just trying to show different options for those that can't go out and go and get stuff, because I know people still can't go out, especially in the UK and a few other places, and why not use what you've got? Anyway, so I've got that. Then I'm going to find where I'll put my tape. I'm going to use some StemTex tape here, and I'm just going to tape them all together. Tape them all together. Work your way down. Nice thin the wire and let the tape, so I'm not twisting my arm right round, and just go almost to the bottom. There you go. So now I've got them all taped together. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my paper coated wire. This is my bind wire, the Oasis bind wire. Or you can use the metallic binding wires. You can use jute. You can use whatever you want. But I'm just going to start it up here. I'm going round and round. And I know I've shown you this before, but I'm going to show you a little trick that I do when I'm making this mechanic. For if you haven't got all the fancy fittings, take my drill bit out. Open the chuck up. Oh, don't you like the sound of that drill in the morning? Oh. Okay, going to wind that in there, tighten it up in the chuck. A bit wonky this morning. There we go, tighten it up. Make sure it's nice and tight. And now put it in the other gear. Okay, there we go. Got myself all sorted this morning. A little bit muddly this morning. Here we go. And we're just going to work our way all the way down. It's a bit wonky in the chuck, but that's okay. Just keep going down. Go all the way down, and then we're going to come back up. But this time be a bit tighter when you come back up. Work my way back up here. Kind of got a bit of a beat to it this morning. Shaky, shaky, shaky. Come back up. And then what we're going to do is I've got another one that I've pre-done, and I've actually got like a little bit of a knobble here. We want the knobble, and if you're not sure, I want to make sure the knobbles match. So that's sitting at 10 there, so I need to come from the bottom, which will make that 22. So come up here, go 22 to there. Right. I need to put my mark there. So then you come here to 22, and then just go back and forward a couple of times. And then go back down. This is how to make a really easy mechanic when you're wanting to get something so it won't slip down when we actually make the mechanic. So open up the chuck, take that out. So I've got two of them now, and see how they've got that little knobble here. That's all we want. Right, so put this back over here. Now I've marked on my timber here where I want these to sit. So I'm now just going to drill a hole in there. So I've come in from the edge with my piece of timber. And so the stems are going to go in here. I don't want them right on the edge. I need a little bit of overhang. So I've got my other mark. Put my drill bit in the chuck. Drill down. Oop, tighten the chuck up. Right, hold that. Slip it around on the other piece of wood. A little bit scary this morning. Got to get myself sorted here. Right, then these pieces here, I haven't put the tape on there. All you're going to do is you're going to pop that in there. You're going to pop that in there. And now you've got nice, strong mechanic where we're going to actually hold this in. Might need to go a bit further down on that one. Okay, pop that one in there. Just a little bit long. So that always use these really good little bolt cutters. Make sure your wires are all the same length. Otherwise it'll bounce around. We don't want that. Right, so we've got those in there. Now what we're going to do is, this is so simple, this mechanic. You're going to put this on here like this. We're going to tape that onto there. Now what I would normally do is I've got some paint here. Once I've got the secure, I'm going to paint it. So in order to get it secure onto there, work out that you want it equal on either side. About one. You probably need another piece of wire there, but that's okay. Move it there. And then I've got this really cool little punch here, little hole punch, and I'm going to go either side of my wire. I'll put that in either side of my wire, and I'm going to put 2 holes. And I'm going to do the same on the other end. Line that up. It needs to go there. So if I show you, got your wires there and your holes there. So I'm going to go either side. This here's, I'm not happy with that, so I'm just going to put a bit of tape around that and make it bind it in a bit tighter. That'll lock it on there for me. Make it really, there we go. So if it never works, just think of something else to fix it. So now that's going to hold now. So what we're going to do now is we're going to get our piece of foam board and we're going to put it over here. Make sure that the holes go right through to both sides and that they're lined up. Then I'm going to get my bit of paper coated wire here. I'm going to cut 4 pieces. Right, just go around your hand. Cut it one more time. Cut it there. Cut it there. Right, now I've got the lengths that I want. And then what we're going to do is we're going to go either side. So we're going to go here and we're going to poke it in from the back. Take it round to the front. Make it like a little loop. If that was long enough, it should be long enough. And do the same on the other side. So you want to poke them through like this. I'll turn to see how I'm poking them through. So it's on that side, the loop's on that side. Make sure all the loops are on the same side. Another one in through here. What you do is you pull them through. And then you just slide this on here, one side, and we're going to tighten that up. Make sure it sits onto the top. Tighten it up, bring this other one down. Do the same on this one. Make sure that goes down where I want it to go. Tighten it up. You can stick these on and hot glue them on, but this is just a nice easy way. I like to be able to reuse my mechanics. See, I've got that fastened on there. And do the same thing here. Might actually have to take this one out to bring it through and tie it into there. Bit of fiddling. Probably should have made that wire a bit longer because I'm coming through the back, so I've cut 2 longer pieces, otherwise I'm going to struggle. And I can, that's better. It gives me a bit of length and I can feed it in behind. And you thread it in. So I'll show you, I'll lift this up and show you once I've got it hooked around, you'll see what I'm talking about. So when you're looking under there, see how I'm feeding that through? And then I've got it onto the top here. Don't tie it off just yet because you'll need to do this side next. In through there, in through one hole, around the wire, get it in through the back of the wire. I hope that's going in. Pop it up in through here, like so, and then what you do is you just tighten it up. Now this is a really good mechanic because what we're going to do, we're going to be sticking things to this, all sorts of really interesting material. So I'll give you some options, and this is for one of the workshops tomorrow. I'm going to cut that nice and short and lay it over so it looks tidy. Also so it sits flat onto your frame. So like that, nice easy mechanic, nice and lightweight, easy to do, doesn't cost a lot. Then I'm going to get some spray and I'm going to spray it. Now depending on what you're using, you might be using the different lighter materials. You may want to keep it white, but because I'm going to be using bark on this, I don't want to see the bark. I don't want to see the white coming through the bark. It sticks out really bad, so make sure that you paint it. I feel good. Boy, that's strong in here this morning. Makes you get really creative. Rightio, so isn't that a masterpiece? Doesn't have to be flash. What you're doing is just trying to hide that white. Now what we're going to do is onto this mechanic here, I can stick all kinds of things, and we're going to make a really cool design tomorrow. And I'm also going to give you options. There's things like using the pepper cone, looks awesome. Strips of cane, could use those if you wanted to. Rolls of bark or the bark off a tree. This is sula bark, but you could use any bark you can find. In New Zealand we have the most beautiful bark off our kauri tree. It's the agathis. It's an absolutely beautiful tree. And the bark is stunning, so you can do bark, but we're going to make this three-dimensional. We don't want it just dead flat like that. So we're actually going to give it a bit of width and put chest tubes in. I'm going to show you some really cool options for that tomorrow. I hope you enjoyed that. This is Fred. Oh, hold on a moment. I think I've got something else to show you. This is another one. Other ways you can do that if you don't like that look. Get placemats. This one I didn't like, so I cut it up. And because it's all glued on the back, again, I can just fold it over there and make a really cool mechanic. And this here keeps it all plant material based. See how it's got that, like that fibre? So some of these really cool mattings that you can get, yeah, you just cut the width that you want and you've got your base to your design. So that's another option. That's another option. So this is Fred. I'll see you again later in the week. Got another option that we're going to be doing, or another design that Francine's going to be doing, this real special one on Friday. So she'll probably show you how to make that. Well, she will show you how to make that. I may be back to show you how to make the mechanic. So have a great day, everybody. This is Fred signing out.